What's up everybody, and welcome to the channel. In today's video we're going to take a look at this 2024 Mercedes Benz EQE500 4MATIC Sedan, finished off in Graphite Grey Magno with an MSRP at $106,000. Let's see what Mercedes Benz luxury electric sedan is all about. The 2024 Mercedes Benz EQE500 is a full electric sedan with a 90.6 kilowatt hour lithium ion battery pack. The overall range is around 260. The curb weight on this car is 5,400 pounds. It also pumps out 402 horsepower with 633 pound-feet of torque. This does have the 4MATIC all-wheel drive, single-speed transmission, and 0 to 60 is 4.5 seconds. Overall length is 196.9 inches with wheelbase at 122.8. Width is 75.8 and height is 59.5 inches. The EQE is also going to feature regenerative braking along with all-wheel steering. Moving on to the exterior styling with the 2024 Mercedes EQE, especially in this satin black, this car looks really sporty. I like it a lot better in this color than others. You have the digital light LED headlights, also featuring daytime running lights, and I like how those headlights fade nicely into this grille. You got the massive Mercedes logo right in the center, and if that's not enough for you, you have a secondary one up on the hood, and then about a million more throughout this grille. There's also safety sensors, a forward-facing camera, and then a little bit of trim underneath that. We have some gloss black trim on the farthest side as well. You can see some nice trim throughout the center with more parking sensors, a chrome trim, and a small opening in the front to allow cooling when needed. This does have a pretty unique style overall, very round. However, like I said, in this color, it does make it look a heck of a lot more sporty. You got a pretty sharp design for the hood line, fading towards that windshield, and then a nice set of 21-inch wheels. Multi-spoke design with the chrome lip, then your Mercedes badge in the center, more parking sensors on the side, and then just very sleek body lines throughout the side. We have gloss black and chrome trim in the lower portion of these doors, LED turn signal along with an integrated camera, more of that satin black color. Got your EQE badge, chrome trim surrounding the windows with some gloss black trim, then a large panoramic roof. The door handles have a nice design with the flush design. You can see that chrome trim area, and then they pop outwards when you lock or unlock the vehicle. For the overall side profile, I really like how the rear end slopes downwards. It certainly has a very round appearance, a little odd on some angles. However, overall it does have a pretty cool look. At the rear you have a pretty wide rear fender arch just to give it more of that aggression, and then it finishes up nicely in the rear with a massive LED taillight. It spans from one side to the next. All of your badging is throughout it. Backup camera will pop out underneath the logo, and then you can see a nice integrated ducktail spoiler. Small lip looks really nice, fits the design language of this car very well. More parking sensors, gloss black trim, and then more trim for the rear diffuser. On the key fob lock is the Mercedes badge. We have unlock along with the rear trunk release. Pretty nice design overall. You can see how these will pop out with the Mercedes logo on them as well. Opening up the door, this one has the sable brown Napa leather interior. Really nice design overall. Taking a look at the door panel, you have this smooth touch material up on top with some stitching. Some nice material right here for your armrest with some padding. And then all the window and mirror controls, door release. All of your seat controls are right here, along with heated and ventilation, along with all of your memory seating. These are more touch-sensitive icons to control the actual seat. Then we have the Burmester audio system storage down below, and Mercedes-Benz along the door sill. Very nice material on these seats. I love the Napa leather with all the diamond stitch into it. You can see all the perforations throughout the center, and then a nice design for the large headrest. Spinning around, we have a 3-spoke steering wheel with silver trim. And then now sitting inside the EQE, going ahead and put my foot on the brake, we can fire it up. We have a 17.7-inch screen in the center, 12.3-inch screen on the right side, and 12.3 right in the center. Looking at the gauge cluster, typical for Mercedes, full LCD screen. You can see some information on the left and right side, and then of course you can scroll up and down and see all sorts of different vitals that will pop up within this car. We have the home icon on the steering wheel where you can view all sorts of different designs. You have the sports screen, a more understated one, and then you can get a full screen navigation, assistance, service, things like that. You're also able to adjust what you see on your heads-up display, which is a cool touch as well. then all those controls are right here on the steering wheel. You can see that home icon, the menu icon right here. Very easily, you can go under every single thing. You also have cruise control settings as well, nice Mercedes logo, and then Bluetooth and audio controls. You also have a matching set of icons for the center screen over here, which is a nice touch as well. There's paddle shifters on here, which will control the regenerative braking, and then your gear select is on the far right side with the turn signal stalk on the left. Down below that, we have some headlight controls down here along with the electronic parking brake, one of your air vents, which has a very nice turbine wheel design to it, and then more of that brown material across the dashboard. This also has a heads-up display, and the actual screen surface has a curve to it, and this is one massive screen, which is pretty neat to see how they've designed everything. The center screen, you have this huge full screen navigation system. You can go under a lot of different menus within it, viewing your charging. You have the range and consumption you're able to take a look at. We have the back button down here as well. More apps, settings within the Mercedes, pretty much anything you would be used to in other Mercedes vehicles. So very familiar overall, has a good look and feel, and I like how you're always gonna see these climate controls down below. So adjusting your fan speed is super easy. You have the climate menu that will pop up with all those controls. Second row seating, you're gonna see that pop up as well. A few more items, and then back to your home screen. Down below, you have a really cool wood trim material that has some texture to it. If you push this out of the way, you can see wireless phone charging, USB ports, different cup holders as well. And then you can pop that to close it. There is storage all down below. And then controls right here for drive mode. If you toggle this, you can go into your eco mode. You have also your comfort, sport, and then individual. So I like everything that is going to be able to adjust throughout the vehicle. And then you also have an EQ icon right here that will get you to this screen. And we have the car icon as well. You can view a few more safety systems. We have volume over here, as well as the power on off. Nice armrest as well. You can open that up and get a good amount of storage space with some plugs. And then the glove box over here, you just press the button and that will pop open. If I go ahead and put the car into reverse, you have a nice backup camera that pops up along with your top-down view. You can easily adjust all the different camera angles, really see everything, front view, rear view. So really nice to see all that. Going back into park, one last look at the interior. This is a pretty cool place to be. If you are sitting in the passenger seat, this is how you're gonna have access into that screen. So now sitting here, this icon pops up and you now have basically your typical Mercedes screen right in the center. We have the home icon as well, and then you can view a lot of the different things that you would normally see. So just like you saw in the center screen, we have the EQ information for charging, things like that with range, full screen navigation over here, radio, media. Over on this right side, you're gonna also see comfort, settings, information. So really cool. Basically, it is the same screen a typical Mercedes has, and then this one just gets the massive one right in the center. You also have a nice frameless mirror. All of your dome lights are up on top. You just swipe your finger on this, and the sunshade will open up. And then if you press this button itself, that's how you can pop open the glass. And then moving on to the second row, if I grab the door handle and open it up, door panel is finished off just like we saw up front, and I like how all the windows are frameless. So it gives it a really nice look. It's cool synthetic material up on top, and then this is a vinyl material for the armrest. You're gonna see lock and unlock, window control along with your heated seat button, and then in back you have the same design for the seats. No perforations, however you still get smooth leather with the diamond stitch pattern. You can see 3 people back here, and you can grab the strap, pull this down, you have a nice size armrest. Popping that up for maybe a phone or tablet holder, and then pressing it again, we have a nice set of cup holders. Up in front, you have a really cool design for your climate controls. You have all of your air vents right here, and then I like this screen. Very easy to adjust. You just tap it a little bit, and it gives you everything. So a nice little feature of that. And then you can also see we have storage right here. Nice design for these headrests that are able to move in and out. And overall pretty cool. You can also see dome lights up on top. We have that sunshade that you can open, and then a small window. So now sitting back here, this is an interesting seating position, not gonna lie. I'm 5'11". The seat is very low where your butt goes, so you are really sinking downwards. My back is very straight up. So honestly, not the most comfortable back seat. If you wanna slouch, you just fall into the seat. So I don't know, not really a big fan of that. There's no adjustments or anything. So you really have to sink way down in it and sit straight up the entire time. Honestly, not that nice. You can't slouch at all in this. So I don't know, decent back seat, I would say. Just the position itself, it's a little funky. Moving on to the trunk storage space, you can just tap the Mercedes logo, and it's going to automatically pop open this area, and you have a pretty large trunk. Actually, it's very deep in here. Got a little cubby on the far left side. You can also open this up, get a little bit extra storage with tire changing kit. We have the charger cable in here as well, and then up on top are these two buttons, and this is how you're going to lower these seats. So just pressing them once, they're going to automatically pop. We of course have the tailgate close button as well with power operations. And then going back in here just to give this a little assistance. There we go. The seat belt was actually ratcheted closed, so sometimes that might happen. But these fold down nearly flat, gives you a good area into the trunk to make this a pretty practical electric sedan. Now, in case you're wondering if there is front storage, you can pop this plastic cover off from under the footwell, grab this red lever, just like any typical Mercedes would have for the standard engine, and then this hood will open up. However, it isn't really useful. There are no gas struts or prop rods, so you manually hold it open, and there's nothing really in here. You do have jump points, it looks like, a massive air filter, but realistically the front of this is just for the Mercedes technicians. All right, so setting off now in the EQE. It's pretty quick. I mean, obviously it's a heavy vehicle, but it's got some good power, especially in the sport mode. Has a cool sound. It almost sounds like a V8 kind of electric type of noise, so kind of neat. So as far as some normal driving, let's tone it back down into just comfort mode, or eco mode, I guess they call it. Go into the understated gauge cluster. This is pretty nice. It is luxurious. It feels like a Mercedes. I mean, the seats are very comfortable up front. Nice use of materials. This car feels smaller. It actually feels a little bit more like it's kind of cradling you as a driver. It's really wrapped around. The dashboard is super unique how it kind of curves downwards. So there's a lot of curves to the style of this. We have a curved dash, a curved screen. It's just kind of a very unique wraparound design to it, but I like it. It feels really comfortable in here. The seats with all their adjustments, I mean, the leg rests and everything. I mean, this generally is a nice car to drive in. It's insanely quiet, as you can tell. You don't hear anything. There's no road noise, there's no wind noise. In eco mode, that was full throttle and we hardly accelerated. Wow, that is, okay, if you really step on it at the bottom of the throttle, then the power comes. But that's kind of nice how in the eco mode, it actually kind of limits the throttle pedal. You can't actually push all the way unless you kind of override it there. But pretty good visibility. The one drawback with visibility, this rear window is tiny. When you look back, I mean, it looks like it's 2 inches tall. So very small rear window, a little harder to see through the back. But overall, I mean, it's kind of an easy car to get used to. If we do go into normal mode or comfort mode, yeah, see, now it doesn't stop you from pressing the gas pedal. That's a neat touch. That's a good way to actually give you a more economical drive to where it's going to conserve the battery. Steering is fantastic. So this has the all-wheel steer. In the slow speeds, you can actually look out of your window and see the rear wheel turn the opposite direction. It pivots on a dime. It is so easy to drive this car, very maneuverable, so easy to park. Obviously the cameras do a great job. So I like that. It makes it just easy to drive. Mercedes technology, not probably for everyone. It is a lot of screen in here, and literally the physical design, this is one piece the entire way. If you were to ever get a scratch or damage it, this whole panel would have to get replaced, which would be kind of crazy, but it is neat to have the 3 different screens. And honestly, I like the Mercedes setup. It's actually not that hard to get used to. It looks amazing with that full screen nav, looks so cool. Of course, the gauge cluster. So it's nice. If you want a gorgeous interior, this really is a great place to be, and it's so comfortable to drive. All right, so setting off now with my perspective, steering is amazing. I love the all-wheel steer. It just makes it so easy to place and really helps give this vehicle that wraparound feeling to where it's just so easy to drive. So with it in sport mode now, this has a lot of torque, a lot of power. Of course, electric cars are pretty darn fast. So getting up to some speed now. 0 to 40, it really takes off. After that, it kind of tapers off to where it's not like crazy. It's not a Model S Plaid or anything like that. However, given the trim level of this, what it's supposed to be and everything, it's a really well performance focused vehicle with all the luxuries. And of course, going back into eco mode, you have the comfort suspension and steering to where it softens up, and it is very pleasant. It's hard to really pick this apart as far as anything I don't like. The exterior styling isn't going to be for everyone. It looks a little odd. This color makes this look way better. We had a blue one last year. To me, it looked a little bit too much like a jelly bean. I think in this more menacing color with the blacked out wheels, really cool interior, this spec is a lot better than that blue one that we had. So I feel a little bit more like this is a sportier car. This one's pretty nice. The screen might take some getting used to, I would say, but it's honestly pretty easy. I think Mercedes has done a good job to where while it is fancy, it's massive, it's so much screen for the interior, it is laid out very simple. In the last few years, Mercedes has really fixed the user interface. There's not even any of the touch panels down below, like that little mouse pad or anything, so it's all touchscreen, which could be good. I don't know if any people really like that panel, but it was kind of nice to be able to just do this and operate it. It's not really that far of a reach, honestly, so I don't really mind that. I kind of like it. And then the gauge cluster too, I just like the way everything looks. It's a very fancy looking car. Use of materials, there is some vinyl material. The seats are Nappa leather. And then, I mean, this is plastic, this is vinyl, this is vinyl. There are some fake materials throughout this for a six-figure car. However, at least it looks good. I think my complaint is I don't really mind the vinyls and the fake materials as long as it looks and feels good. Like this material up here, I like a lot. It feels like something in a high-end car, while a typical car might just have stamped plastic. So they've given you a luxurious interior, a really good place to sit, and the driving dynamics, you're getting a Mercedes at the end of the day. I think a lot of EV cars, my biggest gripe with them, they become all the same. It's just one platform and just throw the interior and exterior on the same car, basically. So I think Mercedes has done a good job to where you are getting a Mercedes, you're getting the luxuries, you're getting what you're paying for. It's not just an expensive electric car. It's not really any different in price point from a high-end sedan from the same brand. And I think just the biggest thing with this car is you're going to drive it and be so relaxed and so comfortable. Mercedes has something special with how they make their cars so relaxing. I mean, you can just sit back, relax. Cruise control works great. All these safety sensors, safety settings are all going to do a good job doing what they need to do. And it's a pleasant car. I don't think, like I said, there's anything drastically that I don't like about it. Only thing maybe right this second, the sun glare on the gauge cluster screen is right in my eyes. So sometimes you might have to deal with some glare on all the screens. And that kind of might be the only real gripe if you can get over the looks of the car, which in this spec does look pretty cool. But that is it then for the 2024 Mercedes Benz EQE500 4MATIC. Cool spec on this one for sure. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. Stay tuned for plenty more content, and I'll see you all in the next video.